going on, guys? Alex here with 814ADC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the Kizer Knives Varatas. So this is a collaboration between Kizer Knives and Jacob Lunquist over at Quist Blade Works. This was a knife that Jacob designed, and from my understanding, Kizer liked it, and they bought the design from him. So this is his first licensed design, and right off the bat, I think this knife is fantastic. It hit every box for me. This, of course, is a passaround knife courtesy of, actually, where did this knife come from? Can't remember if this was a Lefty passaround or a, let me check here because now I feel embarrassed that I wasn't able to get that right. Yes, it's a Lefty passaround knife. I should have known that, but sometimes I get it mixed up. So this is not my knife, but I might be looking to get one of these in the future. I think this is going to be one that I really miss when I no longer have it anymore. And I know Jacob said the next run of these is going to be really cool, so I don't know if they're coming in different colors, different steels, different materials, anything like that. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on for because it's just a good knife. I think it's a great knife, actually a good knife. I mean a great knife for a great price, great materials. I think one of the better bang for your buck knives that I've seen so far this year. And you know, everything about it is just phenomenal in my opinion. So this is going to be a very positive review. It's been a review that I've been excited to make for you guys. And I've really enjoyed this knife, and I'm gonna definitely miss it. I don't know, I don't think I can go buy one right now because from everything that I've seen, it's out of stock most places, which is good because I don't have probably the knife funds right now to go pick one of these up. I probably gotta be a little bit better and a little bit smarter with my money now. But this is definitely one I'm going to want back in the collection in the future. So, yeah, so getting right into materials, you guys can see that this is a titanium-based knife. You have a square pivot, which is really cool. Jacob has started doing that on some of his designs, which I really like. I really love the milling on this knife. It's just little triangles milled into the knife, but I think it looks really cool, and it adds a very nice sort of subtle texture to it, but I really, excuse me, enjoy that. You have a titanium backspacer right there. You guys can see this knife is very thin. That's a huge thing that I first thought about when I picked up this knife and started holding it and fidgeting with it. It's how thin it is and comfortable it is. On this side, you have a milled titanium pocket clip that is Lefty Carey. You guys can see there is a filler plate right there. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to pick up on that or not, but there is a little tab right there that will come off if you are a lefty, which is really nice. Of course, it is a frame lock. You have the same milling on this side. You have a pill-shaped hole for deployment with a front flipper, and this front flipper is probably the best front, if not the best, one of the best front flippers I've ever handled before, just from ease of use. You have a very simple drop point style blade, S35VN. Make sure it says it right there. You guys can see it. It's a sort of a polished stone wash, which is really nice. That logo is the Jacob Lunquist Designs logo. Kizer right there. Internal milling, there are 2 pockets on both sides, and this knife is very lightweight, which is really nice. Official weight on this, where's it at? All right, so I can't seem to, oh, hold on. I'm using Kizer's website, which I will also leave a link specifically to this knife on Kizer's website down below. But like I said, I believe this is sold out anywhere, and there is another drop coming. So I will also leave a link to Jacob's Instagram page down below because he usually gives out first news and first information on upcoming models. But the blade length is 3.27 inches, so a very nice blade length. S35VN, like I said. Weight is 3.03 ounces, so a 3-ounce titanium frame lock knife is excellent. I really enjoy that, and you can tell right away. You know, similar to how thin this knife is just how lightweight this knife is, which is, like I said, crazy when you're considering it's a titanium frame lock with a 3¼ inch blade. That's just really cool, and I really like how they are able to execute that. Which, another thing, Kizer killed the knife, or killed the QC. Fit and finish on this knife is excellent. Kizer's really been killing the game recently, and I really have enjoyed most of the stuff I've checked out from them. But yeah, so I think that's all for materials. Of course, it's on bearings. So next we're going to talk about action. And the action on this is very fun. I made an Instagram reel on with the Varatas, and I think I called it a fidget monster. And I think it really lives up to the name. So with the hole, you can thumb flick it very, very easily. Just fires right out of there. Detent, nice and snappy. You guys can hear it snapping back into place. But thumb flick works very, very well. You can slow roll it, which is nice. Middle finger flick just flies out of there. Very satisfying middle finger flick. Index finger flick. That middle finger flick, when you get a full solid thud, it just feels so satisfying to use. Just flies right out of there. Thumb flick, like I said, and then this might be the best of them all. Thumb flip, it just fires out of there. I think the way, you have a lot of real estate to rest on when you're getting pressure and getting torque from the front flipper. And I think because you have, sorry about that, guys. Sometimes when I'm filming, I forget to click from 4K on my phone to HD because 4K sucks down your storage a lot faster than HD. So I had to quit this video, or kick me off this video. I had to transfer the last video I filmed over to my computer, delete it, and now filming this one in HD. So hopefully there's not much of a difference from like the first 6 minutes of 4K and now like the rest of the video in HD. But I do apologize about that. So the last thing I was talking about was the front flipper and just how smooth and how easy this thing is to flip. This might be I said earlier, it might be the best front flipper I've ever handled. But it's definitely, I think, the easiest, just because you get so much room up here. There's just so much like extra space you have from this knife, on the flipper tab. You can do the rollover very easily, consistently. It's just the great detent combined with the the amount and the way the flipper tang or tab or whatever you want to call it is shaped. You just get a lot of pressure and it's just pops right out of there. It's very, very fun. And I think this thing really is a fidget monster. You guys can see Lefty flick and flick and flick. Lefty index finger with that very, very consistently. I almost nicked myself, but just very fun to fidget with. Get caught in my nail. Closing action, drops to your nail. You guys can see it's not a guillotine because of course that frame lock, but it's very, very smooth. You can drop it and get some very nice micro shakes, or you can drop it, bang, it's closed. Just very fun to fidget with. It's broken in very nicely. No blade play at all, even though this is a passaround knife. It's that's probably why it's broken in so nicely. But again, no blade play, just so smooth. And yeah, so action is 11 out of 10 for me. 2 thumbs up. Great execution, Kizer, and great design, Jacob. So next up, I want to talk about ergos. This thing is very, very comfortably ergonomically, very, very comfortable ergonomically. It's pretty simple design, pretty straightforward. You have pretty much a straight line right here. It does, taper from this point up to the top and then taper back down. It's very, very neutral. Here you have a straight line, and of course it wouldn't be a Jacob Lunquist design without his sort of, patented, sort of indent here that he does on a lot of his models. And you have a nice choil up there. You have jimping up top there. Choking back, I can get all 4 fingers on the knife very, very easily. I don't have a whole lot of room to spare on the back there, but it's very, very comfortable. I feel like, it's very, you have a nice natural restriction point right here with my index finger going into the groove and then the rest of my fingers following suit. My thumb lands right on the top of that jimping, which is very nice, very comfortable. And I get a very good saber grip, very good hammer grip locked in there. The titanium with that milling is very nice. It adds, it's a very subtle amount of milling, there's a lot of milling on it, but, and again, I'm sorry for flipping off the camera. There's a lot of milling on the knife, but it's not like super deep engraved into the scales. It's very, very subtle, which makes for a very nice ergo, experience. It kind of adds a little bit of texturing, a little bit of grip to the scales without adding like sandpaper to it, if that makes sense. So I like that a lot. The milled clip works very well from an ergo standpoint and from a hotspot standpoint. I can feel it back here, but it's so flush and so, parallel to the knife where it is not much of a hotspot at all. And then the real shining star of the ergo department is the choil up here. So I, middle finger in the square cutout here. My pointer finger goes into the choil, of course, and then my last two fingers follow suit on the scale. My thumb lands anywhere from here to way out here on the blade. So this thing is a fantastic, this specific grip right here is fantastic for doing different push cuts. It gives you great control over cutting, through things, around things, or whatever you're doing. This thing is locked into my hand. It's not going to go anywhere. It's very nice. I love, it's not gemmed or anything like that, but the way, this blade is finished just gives a really nice sort of comforting, sort of texture / grip whenever you're out here with my thumb. And that takes me even more off of the pot clip, which makes it even less of a hot spot than it already was. And it was already very, very small, very minimal. It's just a very ergonomic looking design. And I think Jacob, killed it with the design. It's very comfortable in hand. Very nice down, comes down to a very nice thin edge. Blade stock in general is pretty, sort of in the middle, but on the thinner side of middle, or medium, I guess. But just very comfortable and no complaints at all with the ergos. So next up, we're going to talk about Carey. And like I said earlier, this pocket clip can be switched over lefty or righty. You guys might be able to see it right there. There's a little bit of an outline. That is where the filler tab is, which is really nice. If you were a lefty, it gives you that leftability carry, which is awesome. But this thing is very lightweight. It's a 3-ounce knife, and that is, like I said earlier, awesome, because when you consider it as a frame lock with titanium, how light that is, especially with a 3.27-inch blade. Not a small knife at all, but just so thin, so lightweight, and that just makes for a great carry. Now, the pot clip is not a loop over style deep carry clip, but I think the milled clip works great with this knife. It looks really good, the way the knife flows. You do have about that much sticking up out of your pocket, which is okay. That's just how the knife handle was shaped, so no complaints at all there. I've gotten used to that. I've kind of gotten over that whole, thing about how, knives used to stick out of my pocket. It doesn't bug me. I still wish I could have a deep carry clip, but I definitely have got a nice appreciation for milled titanium clips. Functions very well. You have a nice spring right there. Slides out in your pocket. It's all nicely rounded and contoured. You have no flipper tab or no jumping up here. So if you're going down, to grab change, coins, it's the same thing. Change, chapstick, medicine, keys, anything like that. You have no risk of possibly pulling the knife up out when you pull your hand up out of your pocket, which is nice. But very lightweight, carries very well. I've carried this in quite a bit actually in my khakis and in my gym shorts around the house, to events, out and to and fro, doing different things. And, you can't really tell it's there, which is just an awesome attribute to a knife. So similar to, every other category, Carey, it gets 2 thumbs up as well, 10 out of 10. No complaints at all from me in that specific department with this knife. So that leads me to my final category of price point and what I recommend this knife. So price point on the Kizer Varatas is $169, which is, I think, a fantastic deal for the materials you're getting, the design you're getting, the fit and finish you're getting from Kizer. And even better if you can find it on a site like White Mountain Knives, which I did look, they're all sold out. But if you find it on a site like that, you are able to get some money off, so you can get it down closer to, $150-ish. But at the base price of $169, I think this is great. You're getting a very unique, it's very utilitarian, very simple, but it's also very unique in its own way. Full titanium frame lock, S35VN with a beautiful sort of polished stone wash finish, comes down to a nice thin edge. S35VN is, not a new steel by any means, but it's definitely a tried and true, usable steel. Great ergonomics, fantastic action with the thumb flick, middle finger flick. I just said that backwards. Front flip, just so lightweight, so thin. It disappears in your pocket. You're getting a nice cutting edge, blade length of 3.27 inches, which is very, very nice. Just everything put together, I think that for the price of $169 is very, very fair. I could see this before the price came out. I figured this would be a $200+ knife. Now, I don't know if S35VN keeps the price down a little bit, because I know Kizer is able to make some other products with S35VN. even cheaper than 169, you know, around that price range. But I think that's a great price, and I can absolutely recommend this all day, every day. If you guys have not yet considered checking one of these out and you're on the fence, please don't hesitate anymore. I know they are sold out, but if you're able to maybe get one on the secondary or find someone to trade you, I do not think you'll regret it. It's that good, fit and finish wise, action wise, ergo wise, carryability is off the charts. Just a fantastic knife. I honestly think, and this could be bold, but I think this could be, you know, for the, you know, the $100 to $200 price range of knives, I think this should absolutely be in the running for knife of the year. You know, I think I'm really gonna miss this, and I say this now, but I'm not gonna go pick one up right then and now. Again, they're sold out, but in the future, I think I really want one of these in the collection, because I know in a couple weeks I'm gonna say, man, I really miss the Varatas. But I cannot wait to see what Jacob comes out with next and what Kizer comes out with next of these. I can see a lot of different variations, you know, maybe different blade steel, maybe some different, you know, colors on these scales, maybe some micarta scales, some G10 scales, a Ridgelight, you know, something like that. I think there's a lot of different cool things. Well, I guess with the frame lock, you would have to use a titanium instead of, you know, Ridgelight or G10 or micarta. But I can see some different you know, color combinations, maybe some different steel. I think the sky is the limit for Jacob right now, especially with this model. This is definitely one of my favorites of his, and I've loved most of what I've checked out from him so far. So yeah, I'm gonna quit rambling now. I think you guys are able to get a pretty good rendition of how much I appreciate and how much I enjoy the Kizer Varatas. Definitely go check one out, guys, please. It's a fantastic knife. Go support Jacob, excuse me. He's a great guy, is always very kind and always very supportive of me in different things, and a lot of other channels around the community as well. So this was my full review of the Kizer Knives Jacob Lunquist designed Varatas. One of the best knives I've checked out so far this year, and hopefully it stays that way. So leave a comment down below. What are your guys' thoughts on the Varatas? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Which you shouldn't hate it. But I love to hear what you guys have to think. And yeah, I'm going to wrap this up now. So thank you guys again so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your morning, evening, day, whenever you're watching this. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.